terrorists that are rampaging Nigeria at the moment. Well, this and a lot more we're going to be looking at. But let me say massive good morning to you, Yummy. Yes, sir. So how are you doing, sir?
Creator for making sure that we are still alive, to continue to share our stories and bring the best of what is happening around the globe, and also some of the injustice that is being patted on individuals, groups of people, ethnic groups from different part of the globe, and likewise from Nigeria as well, where more Nigerians keep asking, why should we be poor when a country that has the sixth largest crude oil producer in the world, but yet an average Nigerian cannot have a three square meal? And sometimes injustice of cases like the Adedoyin, we're going to be discussing that a little bit further again this morning, seems to be some of those socialites, some of those airlights that have the connection they would to be, will probably get away with crime committed, and then injustice becomes something that we have to continue to discuss. So that's part of what we're going to be discussing. But I come back again slightly to you in the studio. We welcome those that have joined us on other transition, those other platforms that we are transmitting as well. And we say a very good morning. This is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And this is where it goes from exactly 11 a.m. Monday to Friday with myself, Archie Frank, and the rest of the team to bring you the best of the global news. But this time around, it's all about everything Nigeria. I'm going to give us a countdown later, but I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you in our North London studios, where he's bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, now he said he's going to bring you the countdown to the next election. However, Buhari won't sign the electoral bill if amended for self-interest. That's what Malami is saying. The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has hinted that the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, may withhold assent from the Electoral Act. Now, can you give us a bit of a background to that and more details about that story, sir?
Yes, we're going to do so. Let's first and foremost say that as the election is getting closer, the pressure on the presidency and also this government, to do the needful in terms of making sure that Nigerians have the understanding that when it comes to the electoral act, probably maybe is something that will favor. But a lot of Nigerians also believe that maybe this president might not be able to sign that before the tenure as well. But as I say already earlier on, we are just about 367 days before the next election, which is also a lot of conversation for those that have been following, the proceeding and what is going to happen in 2023. So in almost 367 days, whether election we hold or not, regardless of those, that believe that election will solve the problem in Nigeria. But I'm going to go into a little bit details of that particular conversation where it looks like maybe, there might not be, signing of the electoral bill. Malami is the Attorney General of the Federation, current, in Nigeria as we speak. And he was speaking definitely yesterday on one of the mainstream media back in Nigeria. The Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, which is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has hinted that the President, Muhammadu Buhari, may withhold the assent to the electoral bill. According to the minister, the bill which the National Assembly have already transmitted to the presidency the second time on Monday last week just got to him on Monday for legal advice. Malami made that known, like I said, while he was appearing on one of the mainstream media back in Nigeria last night. Buhari had withheld assent to the first version of the bill last year after consulting Malami and the independent National Electoral Commission, also known as INEC. When asked if he was satisfied with the amendment made to the bill by the National Assembly after Buhari sent it back to the Parliament, Malami said, in terms of satisfaction, honestly, it is premature for me to conclude, taking into consideration that I can admit to you that the electoral bill was only received, that was yesterday afternoon. But one thing a lot of Nigerians would like to know is, will the president sign this electoral bill or not? Is the question on the minds of millions of Nigerians that still believe in Nigeria, because more Nigerians are also saying we don't want to be part of Nigeria, and that is something that is already on the kind of a conclusion with some section of the country that believes whether they want the Yoruba nation, the Biafra nation, or people like the Omoyele Sowore that believe is a revolution that would eventually, kill that, country and divide it to what we want. But again, National Assembly transmit a reworked electoral bill to Buhari, but it doesn't seem Buhari might sign that. But we will continue to monitor that and bring that back to those that are watching us and listening to us from every part of the world. The statement titled "Transmission of the Electoral Bill 2022," the clerk to the National Assembly, Mr. Olatunde Amos Ojo, has transmitted the authenticate copies of the Electoral Bill 2022 to President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, but on the 31st, but we're waiting to see what is going to happen. This was in accordance with the provision of the 1999 Constitution. Already, there's a lot of debate on that same Military Decree 24, which is known as the one of the most fraudulent constitution in the world. Also, to see whether Mr. President had withheld assent to the electoral bill transmitted to him last year in November 2021. The electoral bill was thereafter reworked at the National Assembly, both on the Senate floor and the House of Representatives. They passed it on the 25th of July, but whether Buhari will sign it or not is something that we have to wait and see. Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, listen, Mr. Olayomi Koiki Kojo. But Yomi, now why would he assent to it? But after all, it's not like he's going to go for a third term. So he's finished with his tenure. So if he's going, someone is going to take over. And so why do you think that he doesn't want to assent to that?
Well, I believe for so many reasons. I mean, when this is a man that believes in his own ways of doing things. First and foremost, it came on the backing of not just himself. Remember, it contested about 3 times. It couldn't get in until there was a merger between, some other political, parties, to enable him to reach where he is at the moment. But now that he's got less than 13 months to leave the office, he's also trying to put the ring that everybody should just go out there and try to speak to the people rather than using, the cunning ways of how to do things. So again, he must have his own reason. And like I said, there's quite a lot of internal situation in Aso Rock that you might probably not find out, the full details. But again, I'm not sure whether this will be signed before this government elapses, in the next, 13 months. So we're just about, again, 367 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes, and the seconds count down before election of the country, Nigeria, in 2023.
That means that the election is going to take place on what? The 10th of February?
Somewhere around there. That's if the election holds at all. Because, quite a lot of pressure is on the table, especially, when, people that are campaigning and demanding a referendum to opt out of Nigeria. There will be legal cases among some of the court case company, for the state election, Sean Ekiti. And likewise, remember that the Biafrans would, as much as they won the referendum as well, would not go into an election whether Nnamdi Kanu is released or not, from the information that we are getting. And that same goes with the Yoruba as well. So there's a lot of pressure in the country, but it's still a countdown. And Star Radio UK will monitor all that, till then.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. And let me say good morning to Amayo Aderegini. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. I thank you very much for joining us. And as many of you who are listening to us, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Okay, let's move on to some of the other stories making the round. Buhari's regime holds emergency meeting as aviation workers threaten to shut down airspace. So, should we be worried if we are supposed to be traveling to Nigeria in the next few days?
Well, yes, I would be worried, especially with the current situation that it's happening. If there should be a kind of a strike, it's not the first time that we've seen some of these situation happening. We've seen ASU saying that they will be going on indefinite strike anytime soon because the government have not been able, to set up, what they demand. Even on the outline I've got here, we are set for indefinite strike as federal government is dribbling us according to ASU. So I'm going to come back to the evasion, but let's talk about the ASU as well because this affects millions of Nigerians that are currently studying, as we speak today. So that means an average Nigerian will not probably be able to finish a program or his program at the university due to the fact that ASU will be going on what we call indefinite strike. The Academic Staff Union of University has said its members in the university across the country will embark on another strike if the federal government fails to implement the memorandum of action it signed with the union last year. According to the chairman of ASU in Ladoke Akintola University Technology Ogbomoso, Dr. Abiodun Olaniran, and the secretary, Dr. Toyin, who said this in a statement issued after the Congress held their union on Monday this week, stressed that the failure of the government to fully implement the agreement was very, very worrisome. You probably want to be asking why a government, would not want a kind of deal to conclude, that most of these, yes, the government is also making some demands that probably will not work, but we'd have to see and wait what that is going to happen. Now, let's come on the this emergency meeting that is currently being held by the federal government, representative to make sure that the question you ask is, should I be traveling to Nigeria or anybody outside the country be coming back home? And you'll be guaranteed that you'll be able to arrive into the country without any hindrance as well. So this is probably why the government is doing everything as quickly as possible to make sure that this does not happen. But like I said, again, it's always got to do with lack of the willingness of this government to do the needful, make sure that people are given the right tools. The National Union of Air Transport Employees and the Association of Nigeria Aviation Professionals are threatened to withdraw their services as of today. According to the President, Muhammadu Buhari regime has begun moves to avert a nationwide strike by the aviation. It's not just going to be affecting one particular airport. It's going to be going across almost all the airports. The major airport is Lagos International Airport, and likewise the Abuja. We have the Kano, we have Port Harcourt. These are very, very key airports that brings in more Nigerians back home from every part of the globe. Even though Nigeria doesn't have an airline anymore, but more Nigerians still travel using some of these other representatives out of the other country back into Nigeria. So we're going to monitor that and then be able to give more update. But as the headline says, it seems there might be what we call a nationwide strike by the aviation worker. The Labour Minister, Chris Ngige, remember, he said more doctors that are leaving Nigeria will probably bring more forex back into the country. I had a meeting with the officials of the Ministry of Aviation and Aviation Workers in Abuja yesterday. The union, the association are threatening to withdraw that services, from February 8 today over, again, the poor welfare unimplemented agreement with the regime. So we see how this happened, whether this will be averted or this will go ahead as, it's been said, but we'll be giving more details as soon as we have it to those that are listening to us from different parts of the globe.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing updates from Nigeria. But Yomi, from the top of your head, can you say how many trade unions in Nigeria are at the moment or backing on a strike or have intention of going on a strike?
Well, like I said, at the moment, We might also be coming to see the petroleum industry might be also have a bit of hiccup. Since yesterday, there have been a lot of queue in Lagos State, regarding people trying to buy PMS, which is known as petrol, as at yesterday. As at this morning, that situation is still ongoing. But presently, we have ASU that seems to be going ready to go on what we call indefinite strike. That means they're not going to discuss with government when they want to come back. So if they say we are starting on Monday, that means every student across the country would then have to start making their way back home. Apart from the private university, and most Nigerians cannot afford the private university because they're quite expensive. So we have the ASU at the moment. Likewise, we also have the aviation sector. You can detect that these two sectors are most important, in Nigeria today, because the reason why I said so is those that travel back home are not the tourists, because no tourist wants to go back to Nigeria because of so many crises that is happening in Nigeria. So we probably have more Nigerians that are going back home, and if there's an aviation strike, that means they might have to go through Ghana and then end up traveling on the bus, which might be a little bit again dangerous because more Nigerians are still being kidnapped and killed, and I'll be discussing that later on. It's exactly 11:22. I do know that there's a lot of fluctuation with the network here, but I'll come back again to you in the studio. It is still Star Radio UK. If you're sending money home to your loved ones, remember to use send waves, whether you're sending to Kenya, Ghana, or Nigeria. That will get reached to them straight away. But remember to use the code STAR so that you can be able to get the discount if you're using it for the first time. Once again, good morning to those that have joined us. I welcome you to Star Radio UK.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Amaya says it always seems impossible until it's done. Yes, we can. Yoruba Nation. That's what he is saying pertaining to the rest that goes on or agitation by the Yoruba Nation group. Okay, we hope that wherever you are, you're also listening into the program. But let me hand over to you so that you can bring out some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Archie. We're going to be looking straight away into some of those headlines coming again out of Nigeria this morning. I'm going to touch quickly, like I said, on the case of this particular, one of the what we call like a socialite in Nigeria. He has an hotel. He has a lot of different businesses across Nigeria, and from what I'm told, outside Nigeria as well. But his case has been, a bit highlighted due to the fact that a Nigerian that went to that hotel was killed, not because he died naturally, but because something went wrong inside the hotel that belongs to this particular person. But it seems as usual, just as we've seen before, most politicians and the elite doesn't want to have their cases being heard, and that means they will use everything they can to stop the case. So we're talking about Adedoyin, where Timothy was killed, in his hotel. Three, most of the staff have been apprehended, but it doesn't seem the case is going as planned, as the news coming out this morning from Abuja. Abuja policemen harassed journalists during Ramon Adedoyin's trial as Hilton Hotel owner appears in neck brace. These are part of the method that they use. We've seen that in the process before. People are being wheeled into the court on a stretcher. People use all kind of reason that says they have healthcare issues. Justice Module Adebi of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has struck out the case against the proprietor of Hilton Hotel, Ramon Adedoyin, and 6 others over the death of Timothy Adegoke, a student of Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. The judge struck out the case on Tuesday following an application for notice of discontinuance of the case in pursuant to Section 108 of administration. So it looks like the way the situation is now, if care is not taken, justice might never happen to the family of Timothy. But we hope justice will be served so that these individuals can end up in the prison rather than moving around across the country. So we're going to touch more other headline and then we come back again. There's a Porter breakdown of NIM. Telecoms meet again as the Chinese and Nigerians battle the fort. Let's go into the story. NIM, if you're going to apply for a Nigerian passport today, without a NIM, you will not be able to do so. Remember, we did promote this at some point, I believe about some 3 years ago, when they were in London. We visited even their
Yeah.
office in Oak End Road, when we were
Yeah.
discussing that issue at that time. It's called the National Identity Management Commission. But it seems something has gone wrong with their portal. There's been a technical hitch in the National Identity Number Verification Portal of the National Identity Management Commission and has yet to resolve this for 7 days as we speak right now. This came as top officials of NIM met with the telecommunication service provider with a view to finding the solution to the glitch, which has left many telecom subscribers stranded as we speak right now. According to the report yesterday, thousands of telecommunication subscribers nationwide are seeking to retrieve their lost subscriber identity modular card or acquire a new line and temporarily were stranded. Sometimes these issues happen not because of the negligence of a system. As the election is coming, we got to start looking into almost every details of what is happening in Nigeria, because Nigeria has become a location where more things happen without understanding it. Remember that the contestant, one of the presidential contestant, Bola Tinubu, even told us some few weeks ago that the PVC has expired. You might want to ask the question: a person that wants to contest for a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria came on air and say your permanent voter's card is no longer valid. He came back out after a couple of conversation coming up from INEC and almost everybody to debunk that again. Not debunk it, but to say it was probably maybe a slip of tongue. But what do we know? That he knows, and that also goes with the name. Remember that the current Minister of Telecommunication, which is Patami, has been linked to terrorism as well. And that has not been debunked by the government. Rather, the government has continued to shield and guide him into the current government that we have today. So if we have a minister that has had sympathy, imagine you as a minister of communication in UK and you have sympathy with ISWAP or ISIS, you'll probably be taken away as quickly as possible. But it's the other way around in Nigeria. So more Nigerians must be able to look into this situation to find out. Because when you talk about your name, it links you with so many things, not just because you want to get a passport, it also links you to the bank as well. The affected name portal enables telecom, the Nigerian immigration, the services, banks, and other organizations to verify the national identity of their customer before attending to them. So that means more customers will probably be stranded or being unable to get verification with the name. So we hope things will be resolved as quickly as possible for millions of Nigerians. Let's come back to some other headline before I come back to you in the studio. It's coming up to 29 minutes past 11 a.m. Ogun Custom impounded 100 trailers of foreign rice. But the first question is, I hope they are doing the same thing in Katsina, very close to Buhari's territory. I hope they are doing the same thing in Sokoto, where more trailers and more ammunitions have coming through Nigeria with what we call open border. We have what we call a porous border in the northern part of the country, and with evidence base of world-waiting AK-47 of people coming from Niger, from Sahel, but rather because it's in the southwest of the country. That also is something that a lot of Nigerians have been talking about. Why should you close the border in the southwest, whereas in the northern part of the country, the border has left open? So the headline says, Ogun State Custom impounded over 100 trailers of foreign rice. According to the information, the Ogun One Command of Nigerian Customs Service has impounded not less than 101 trailers of foreign parboiled rice within the period of 13 months. The controller, Dare Inandi, disclosed this yesterday at a press conference held at the command headquarters in Idiroko. And I hope when we have evidence of these trailers that are still available, because sometimes, as they say, it's 101 trailer, you probably have 10 left because the remaining 90 has been sold off again by the same custom officer. Indidi explained that 96 trailer of load of rice comprises 57,000 bags of 50 kg were seized in 2021, while the 5 trailer load comprises 3,000 bags of rice were intercepted in January this year. The question then again is, why do people want to bring in foreign rice into the country? More Nigerians will complain of different things as well. The farmers have been, remember we were at Ogun State in Kobakwe some few years ago when Starr Radio traveled down to Nigeria, and we visited some of the farms. We even have the, somebody interview from that particular farm. The reason that a lot of people cannot grow the farm, go into the farm as of today, is because there's a lot of terrorist attack. A caller on our show, like I said over the weekend, said he had to literally abandon 25,000 acres of land because of the, insecurity in the country as well. So let's come back into the studio for now, while we prepare some of the other headlines happening on social media and happening across the globe as well. It is Star Radio UK, once again, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you there. But the question that I'm asking this morning is, are all Nigerians equal? Or, like the animal kingdom, some animals are more equal than others. Because if they say that, well, Ogun State, they manage to confiscate how many?
101.
101.
Well, that's even if the trailer are still in their vicinity. They've not sold it off. Because that become another business entirely.
Of course, the same thing being done in other states. Well, let me acknowledge a few people who have joined in and read their comments as well. Amaya Jerigene says that justice for Timothy, power belongs to the people. Oluremi Ogapi Kelanko, let me say good morning to you, or good afternoon, whichever is appropriate. Now, I expect that because Nigeria is a lawless country. He's talking about the fact that this man appeared in court with net braids around him. Pastor Emmanuel Otogbe says,
Togba, Pastor Emmanuel Togba, listening from Southwest Nigeria.
Oh, hello, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. I say Yoruba Nation, no going back. Olayomi says, President Patrice Talon, Free Chief Sunday, Adeyemo, aka IGBOHO Kojo. Very well done, Starr in the UK. Olayomi continues. Amanda says, I stand with Sunday IGBOHO, and then he continues. Sunday IGBOHO also is a freedom fighter. Self-determination is not a crime. Now, who owns the trailers with rights? That is what Olayomi is asking. And Pastor Emmanuel once again says, I stand with IGBOHO Kojo. Amanda says, some animals are more important than others. Amanda, I agree with you 121%, because that seems to be the trend when it comes to our part of the world. But well, it is Star Radio UK. Now, let's look at the other story that you posted says justice denied, justice delayed, justice denied. Now, have we had any other information coming from Benin, Republic of Benin, pertaining to Sunday IGBOHO?
Well, apart from the AGF, which is the Attorney General of the Federation, during his conversation yesterday, said we will bring back IGBOHO to Nigeria so that he can face trial after he has concluded his trial in Benin Republic. But the question is, he hasn't got any trial in Benin Republic because even the federal government have not submitted any kind of case on his behalf or on him in Benin Republic. So that means he's not going to come back to Nigeria, so that also guarantees those that have been a bit concerned and worried. What we said yesterday is exactly still what it stands, and we've been able to explain that further to more people that have been very worried, especially because he's been there for 6 months. The question is, why is he been there for 6 months? Is because the federal government of Nigeria wanted to kill him, assassinate him on the 1st of July 2021. That we must continue to remember, that the reason why IGBOHO is where he is because the federal government, rather than chasing the terrorists that is paraded across the length and breadth of Nigeria, decided to chase the shadow, according to even Professor Wole Soyinka. So the reason why IGBOHO is still in Benin Republic is nothing more than the fact that the federal government chased him away out of Nigeria, and he was trying to get out of the country through Benin Republic on illegal means because he was traveling with a valid traveling document, but he had to be stopped. So 6 months was signed at the beginning because of his political asylum that was applied in Benin Republic. That is the first point of application. That means he has to sign that for a guarantee under the UN law that he will not be maltreated, he will be treated very well, his security will be guaranteed. That 6 months, like I did explain yesterday, has already elapsed in January. And I'll give this explanation for those that probably, have gone through what we call immigration here in UK. If you're being asked by the Home Office, after you've submitted whether an application for asylum and they are looking into it, you'll be given what they call a temporary stay in the country. And what does that mean is you'll be asked to go to places like Beckett House at London Bridge, where you will have to renew that stay every week. Sometimes it's every month, depending on the threat level of who you are. Sometimes you might be given 2 weeks, and sometimes every 3 months. A lot of people are still doing that as of today, somewhere in London Bridge, where the Home Office are. So this is almost similar to what has happened with Chief Sunday Igboho. He has to sign a kind of a new agreement that, according to the United Nations, he will be held there, while they are looking after him. It's not a sentence. So it seems a lot of people think that was a sentence slammed on Chief Sunday Igboho by Benin government. It's not a sentence because he hasn't done anything yet, and the court in Benin Republic have not, as of today, sentenced him for any offense. So a lot of miscommunication is out there that Chief Sunday Igboho has been sentenced for another 6 months. It is not a sentence. It is it is what we call duty of care of Benin Republic on Chief Sunday Igboho. And like you did talk about it, yes, Ilana UK put out that post that you read earlier on, and that says again, justice delay is justice denied for Sunday Igboho. Over 6 months without trial in Benin Republic is unlawful and against Article 31 of 1951 Convention relating to the status of refugees. He won his case against the Nigerian federal government with demand his unconditional release. Like I said, there's still a lot of work being done to make sure that he can be released. But being a political prisoner, it seems there's what we call hand in hand, government of government, African of African as usual, and that is why he's still being held there. But there's a lot of pressure on Benin Republic to make sure that he's released unconditionally. And likewise, the same thing. Before I come back, let's discuss, with Nnamdi Kanu as well. We do know that Nnamdi Kanu is still currently being held by the DSS inside Abuja for what the Nigerian government, again, Malami, spoke about Nnamdi Kanu as well. But what Malami has not been able to tell Nigerians is, how did Nnamdi Kanu get back to Nigeria? That is a question that a lot of people want to know. Was it, kidnapped? Was he arrested? You can't just say, I'm just trying to bring what the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu said, yesterday. I'm going to read that quickly. It says, a press release, subject, absence of lawful extradition is the reason why Nigerian cannot explain how it intercepted Nnamdi Kanu. This is by Aloy Ejimako, one of the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu. Following the sudden appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court on 29th of June last year, the Attorney General of Nigeria told the press something different, that Nnamdi Kanu was intercepted through the collaborative effort of Nigerian intelligence and security services. He added that recent steps taken by the federal government saw to the interception of the fugitive Kanu on Sunday the 27th of June 2021. Beyond this bland use of the word interception, interception is different from kidnapping and rendition. So what this legal representative are saying is, come out and give us an account, because our own clients have told us exactly what happened. It was in Kenya, and something happened. For 8 days, it was tortured. It was not taken to the court in Kenya, but the Nigerian government has refused to come out and tell us, but rather they say, we intercepted him. They intercepted him as something that is there waiting to be picked up, but rather it was kidnapped and rendition back to Nigeria. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, before I come to the question I wanted to ask about extraditory treaty with Benin, let me acknowledge a couple of people, some of the comments that is going on there. Amaya says that anywhere injustice persists, resistance becomes imminent. And then Pastor Emmanuel says, God bless you, sir. So Yomi, for this great information about Igboho. Thanks so much. And then Amaya continues to say, wake up, rise up, stand up for your right, and don't give up the fight. Pastor Emmanuel says, Yoruba nation, no going back. And Amaya says, there is light at the end of the tunnel. A lucha continua, victory of Victoria Aseta. Okay, yes. So victory is imminent. Something that will definitely happen. But let me ask you something there, because you know that Nigerian ambassador to Benin was the former, is it military chief or something
Yeah,
that was said
chief
there?
of defense. Yeah.
So is it a ploy to get somebody who's got a strong hand and they will try to influence the government in Benin? And that is why Malami is saying that, oh, when the Beninois have finished what they are doing, then they're going to bring him to Nigeria to come and face the laws there. Is that what seems to be happening?
Well, yeah, you're quite right. There's already pressure, by the Nigerian government representative in Benin Republic, Buratai, to make sure that they can convince, the government of Benin to release Chief Sunday Igboho, back to the Nigerian government. But Benin has not done so. As much as, they've given him the security in the country, which also, you talk about the extraditory treaty, we don't have one with Benin Republic. So that means, it's not just going to be taken out of Benin straight to Nigeria. It doesn't work like that, because what happened in Kano State, in Nnamdi Kanu, is completely different from here, because the government kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu, bundled him, just as they wanted to kidnap Umaru Diko in 1984 by this same, present, individual known as, the president of Nigeria, Buhari. He wanted to do the same thing in 1984 here in UK, but it was stopped. Even that, as at the time, Umaru Diko was already in the cage on the Nigerian Airways, standing at the tarmac about to fly back to Nigeria, until intelligence says that aircraft must be searched, and eventually he has been drugged. So Nnamdi Kanu must have been done the same thing. This was what they wanted to do when Chief Sunday Igboho was stopped on the 19th. An aircraft, a private jet, flew back from Nigeria straight to Benin Republic, but because of the quick quick interjection of some of us behind the scene, we were able to stop that, and that's the reason why Chief Sunday Igboho was not taken back to Abuja, because more people would have woke up the next day on the 20th and realized that the government would have presented Igboho back to them. Because what the information they were telling Benin as at the time was, this is somebody of interest and we need to get him back to Nigeria as quickly as possible. Yes, but because we, the back end team, knew what was happening, and we had to put a quick intervention into it, and like I said, the struggle still continued to get him out of there as quickly as possible, and everything is still being done to make sure as well. Also, there's a fake news that has been traveling as well on what we call the BBC Yoruba, which I also have to highlight quickly, that there's been some of the children of Igboho and in Germany as contracted COVID and all such. We would like to say that information is false, and we'll probably be putting a legal team to penalize that kind of information coming out of BBC Yoruba, and BBC Yoruba is still in line with the BBC here in UK.
Interesting. Now, if they contracted COVID, what is wrong? I don't know human beings. Can they contract COVID? Should that be headline news? Well, that is some of the things that happen when it comes to Africa. Let me say good morning to Ismaila Ajadi Subaru. He says, end Nigeria now, Yoruba nation. Now, Starr Radio UK, 11:44 the time. Let's go to the social media and see what is happening there. Over to you, Yogi.
Well, social media seems to have something trending this morning. I'm not sure why, but it says that Ashewo, hashtag Ashewo. Ashewo means a prostitute. Is a Yoruba language. But I'm trying to figure out why that is trending in Nigeria this morning. So I've clicked on that because already it's got almost 10,000 tweets. Also, Olosho is somebody engaged again in a kind of a prostitution. Those two are trending this morning in Nigeria, but again, not too sure why. But let's look at what people are saying. I'm looking at Reno Omokiri, a very, very critic of this government and somebody that is also, worked during the Jonathan regime as, I believe, the spokesman as well. Dear single man, a girl who is conscious about how much money you make, your future prospect is not automatically a gold digger. In fact, she's wise to have such concerns. Only fools live without looking. Financial security is the bedrock of a marital stability. So I'm looking at what is why this is trending this morning, but it seems why it's trending is a very, very disgusting video. We can't show that of some young Nigerians having what we can call within the confinement of a bar, and that has actually gone into circulation. This video is not new, I can say, because I've come across that video sometime last year. There are three girls being, doing what they have to do with some young men right inside, a bar, out, just behind the bar, and I believe that is why, it's come back on again. I'm not sure who has posted that on the social media, but that is probably the reason why. Somebody says, "Oh, more, I can't imagine the different types of tune this kid has heard." So it seems, most of the youth in Nigeria are more corrupt because the whole system itself is corrupt. And this person said, if hashtag Olosho goes strike today, you could be all right or not to begin stock up. So on a very weekend, Monday to Sunday in Nigeria, we have all kind of joints where young girls have become prostitutes. And I'm sure you probably say, because some of the situation in Nigeria has led most of them to that.
Desperate situation. I mean, people are desperate. People have completed universities. They don't have jobs to go to. Their parents might have taken loans or so, whatever they have. What do you expect them to do? What do you expect them to do? I'm not praising that people should go and do that at all. No. It's something that should be done. But when people are desperate, what do you expect them to do? And at times I say that, and I say shame onto our governments, our leaders who think that they are doing something weak. In actual fact, they are rather enriching themselves at the expense of the majority of the people. Well, Amaya Adurene says that it's because of Mo Abudu, a film producer accused of sleeping with various Nigerian politicians. Okay, throwing some light on that as well. And then, as Emmanuel says, Mr. Koiki, you are great, Yoruba man. God bless you, sir. God bless you, Pastor Emmanuel as well. Yes, God bless you all. Okay, before we go.
Well, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. We still have, Archie, Frank, and others that will be giving you the remaining part of this program. But like I said, we'll be back again same time tomorrow. And from this end, I say have a very good morning, and thank you very much to everyone that have joined us this morning.
Yes. Okay, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. We're going to take a musical break, but once we come back, we'll continue with the stories. But this afternoon, as I announced earlier on, Sam Henshaw, a Nigerian British will be earlier on. Sam Henshaw, a Nigerian born British, will be on the show exactly at 1:30 on BB Clements, BB Means Business Show with BB Clements. So make a date. If you've never listened to that program before, I want to beseech you, my brethren, that listen to it. Sam Henshaw, he is just under 30, but he is overachieving. Maybe we can take up.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have a very good afternoon. We'll be back again same time tomorrow. But for now, bye for now. This is Starr Radio UK. Bye for now. Bye for now.
Keep on